Hi everyone. Today we are going to be completing this explanations tool so that we can then write a complete explanation for what happens when ethanol burns. So the first question that I'm going to try and answer is, when ethanol burns, how does the matter move? So we're going to draw what's going into the flame and what's coming out of the flame. So I know that ethanol from the container moves into the flame. And I know that because the mass of the ethanol decreased when I burned it. I also know that oxygen is going to go into the flame. And then coming out of the flame, I'm going to have carbon dioxide and water. And we know that the carbon dioxide came out of the flame because our BTB changed color. And we know that water came out of the flame because our cobalt chloride strip changed color. All right, the next question that I'm going to try and answer is, what happened to the atoms? How are they rearranged into new molecules when ethanol burns? So we know that ethanol, which is C2H5OH, we know that atoms from ethanol went in, and also that atoms from oxygen, which is O2, went into the flame. And then coming out of the flame, we had that carbon dioxide and water. So our chemical equation is saying that C2H5OH plus O2 is converted into, or rearranged into, CO2 plus H2O. And if I wanted to balance this, I would need to have 3 oxygens, 2 carbon dioxides, and 3 waters to make it so that the exact same number of atoms and type of atoms that went into the equation is what came out of the equation. And this chemical change is called combustion. All right, now the next question that we have on here is, how is the energy being transformed? How's that energy changing? We know that energy can't be created or destroyed, and we know that we started with chemical energy, and we know that the energy that comes out of the reaction is that heat and light energy. And now we just need to talk about where this energy comes from and where it goes. So where does the chemical energy comes from? Well, it comes from the high energy carbon to carbon and carbon to hydrogen bonds in ethanol. And then where does that energy go? Well, it gets transformed into heat and light energy that go into the environment. All right, so what you're going to do now is you're going to take everything that we put onto this page and you're going to put it into a paragraph. And that paragraph needs to explain what happens when ethanol burns. So everything that we have written down should go into our paragraph. For example, we could start our paragraph by saying, when ethanol burns, oxygen and ethanol move into the flame, and carbon dioxide and water move out of the flame. we could then say the atoms in ethanol and in oxygen are rearranged into molecules of CO2 and H2O. You're going to want to make sure that you put this chemical equation and that you identify the fact that this is a combustion reaction. You'll then need to talk about the energy change, telling me that the chemical energy from the high energy carbon to carbon and carbon to hydrogen bonds in ethanol is transformed into heat energy and light energy that goes into the environment. So once you have everything that you've written here in a paragraph form, then that assignment is complete.